In this video, we're going to learn how to use an alternative way to add a transition to the timeline using AIM Transition's Premiere Pro extension. Alternative method overview. An alternative method was created as a fallback option for automatically adding a transition to the timeline. The advantages of this method are that only the necessary assets are added to the project without adding a transition sequence to the project panel. Also, in terms of the speed of adding, this method works much faster than the default method. The disadvantage of this method is the need for an additional mouse click outside the Premiere Pro before clicking on the transition icon. This is necessary due to the peculiarities of Premiere Pro, which keeps the memory buffer locked until the focus on the program is lost. This click outside of Premiere Pro allows you to unlock the buffer for writing, and when you click on the transition icon, our extension adds the transition directly to the memory buffer. To activate this alternative method, go to the extension settings. Find and open the tab Import Settings. Here we see special additional settings with which you can customize the work of the extension specifically for your requirements. In our case, we are now enabling the option with the name Use an Alternative Method. When this method is activated, a scarlet asterisk appears in the lower right corner of the extension. This indicator has been added for convenience so that you don't forget to make an extra click outside of Premiere Pro before adding the transition. How to add transition to the timeline. Now let's go back to the Core Transitions pack. As for the default method, let's use the transition page flip from the box category as an example. First, let's set a time indicator at the junction point of the two clips. This is a required action. Now let's go back to the extension and click on the transition icon with the direction we need. Great! It works really fast. Now let's check if the transition works. The transition works great. Now let's check what is in the AIM Transitions P-Pro folder in the project panel. As we can see, unlike the default method, now the folder contains only the Assets folder. The Systems folder contains the files required for the transition to work. These files will be common for all transitions with the same sequence settings, the settings of which you can see as part of the name of these files. Now, with the help of another video, let's see the process of adding a transition with the highlight of the mouse cursor. On Windows, on macOS, great! Now you've seen it in detail, but let's take a look at the case. What will happen if you do not make this additional click? First, let's click outside and add a transition. Great, it's on the timeline. Now let's try to add another direction without going beyond Premiere Pro. Oh, it all happened very quickly. We will now look at this in more detail. Our extension is inserted data from the buffer into the timeline, then validated it to match the transition that we added. However, since this did not match, the AIM Transitions P-Pro extension immediately rolled back this action. In addition, a notification has appeared in the preview area that informs about this problem. That is, in other words, our extension can detect this situation and notify you about it if you forgot to click outside the Premiere Pro. We try to make maximum convenience for users of our extension. Okay, click outside of the Premiere Pro and see that the Premiere Pro loses focus. Focus loss is indicated by lightening the top of the program. Now click on the transition again. Great, everything works. So this video tutorial for this section is over. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for all the latest updates on new products and offers.